What's up, TM Nation? Today we're diving into something that's completely changed my perspective on action cameras, the Insta360 GO 3S. Now, I've been testing this tiny powerhouse out for the past few weeks, and trust me, there's a lot to cover. Whether you're a vlogger or content creator like myself that's just looking for a different way to capture your footage, this little guy has some features that I haven't seen anywhere else, especially in such a compact form factor. First, taking a look at what you'll get inside of the box with the standard bundle, which is what I picked up. You've got the GO 3S camera itself, and seriously, this thing is tiny. And when I say tiny, I mean very small, around the size of a AA battery. Next up, you have the action pod, which is basically your command and control center. One thing that I like about it is it has this really nice flip up screen that feels premium and solid, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. But the most important part is that the camera slots right into it in the front with a satisfying magnetic click, and the whole thing transforms into what looks like a small mini action camera. In terms of accessories, you're getting quite a bit here. First, there's the magnetic pendant, which is genius for POV shots. You can wear it under your shirt, and then you can attach the camera right to your chest. Followed by that, you get the easy clip, which is great for all different types of POV shots as well. You can mount it to your hat, your bags, and many different types of straps. There's also a magnetic pivot stand with a 1/4 inch thread mount, a sticky mount for semi-permanent placement, and your USB Type-C cable for charging and transferring your photos and videos to your computer or other devices if you don't want to take advantage of the wireless options you have with this system, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Now let's talk a little bit more about what this little action camera can actually do, because the specs are pretty impressive. You're looking at 4K resolution at 30 frames per second, which is a major upgrade from the previous GO 3's 2.7K. The sensor captures at up to 100 megabits per second bitrate, and you've also got options for 2.7K at 50 frames per second if you need higher frame rates. Storage wise, this comes in a 64 gigabyte version and a 128 as well. In my opinion, I would say that the $30 is definitely worth it for double the storage, because you don't have the ability to update this at a later date, and trust me, you can always appreciate the extra space. Alright guys, so this is a vlogging test with the Insta360 GO 3S. I'm using the built-in microphones and I haven't adjusted any of the settings. As you can see, it's a relatively bright day outside right now. So if you want to pick one of these up and you like to do a lot of vlogging, this is pretty much what you could expect out of the box. So here is a regular talking head type of shot. As you can see, I'm sitting down and the camera is right in front of me on my tripod. And one thing that's great is that I can see exactly how I'm framed up, because it does have the flip up screen. And that makes this an extremely versatile camera, because I can sit down and do this type of content and do action content as well. Now, in terms of real world usage, this is where things get interesting. I've been using this little camera in all sorts of situations, and it's surprisingly versatile. The magnetic mounting system is a game changer. I've mounted this thing to my bike frame, the side of my car, and even on light posts in the park to get shots that I would typically need a tripod to achieve. The battery life also surprised me. The camera itself will give you about 38 minutes of continuous recording, which doesn't sound like much until you remember how tiny this thing is. But here's where it gets a little bit more clever, because the action pod actually serves as a charging case as well, extending your total recording time to around 140 minutes, which has been more than enough for all of my shoots. Now, circling back on the image quality for just a moment, the 4K footage is sharp and detailed, especially in good lighting. In my experience with the camera in general, the colors have had that pop but also been natural at the same time, and the dynamic range is actually impressive for such a small sensor. The GO 3S also gives you several different field of view options. You've got the new Mega View, which is their widest option, but with less distortion than typical action camera footage. Then you have a linear mode that you can toggle on if you want as well, which straightens out those curved lines and is perfect for vlogging situations. One feature that I think a lot of people are going to appreciate about this camera is the interval recording mode. This is great for creating time lapses or capturing events throughout the day. You simply simply set how long you want it to record, along with how often, and the camera will handle the rest. The flow state stabilization deserves its own mention because it's seriously impressive. With it, you've got 3 levels, which are standard, high, and max, and even with the standard, it handles most situations really well, but crank it up to max and you can get some incredibly smooth footage without placing the camera on a gimbal. Alright guys, so this is a handheld sample using the Insta360 GO 3S. I don't have it on a gimbal or anything of that nature, and I am using the built-in microphone, so this should give you a pretty good idea of the stabilization and the mic quality as well. I am walking at a normal pace, and I will switch over to the iPhone 16 Pro in just a second. Give me a moment. And here is a handheld test using the iPhone 16 Pro. Again, this is not on a gimbal or anything of that nature. Still in the same area as you can see. And I am using the built-in mic too on this test. So this should give you an idea of the stabilization with the iPhone 16 Pro in comparison to the GO 3S and the mic quality as well. So let me know what you guys think. Is it pretty good? Comparable? Let me know. I do want to touch on one of my favorite features about this camera in general, and that is the auto orientation switching. All that you have to do is hold the camera vertically and it will shoot in that orientation. And likewise, if you want to shoot in landscape mode, you simply hold the camera horizontally and you'll be all set. I love the fact that you don't have to go into the menu and look for any types of settings or anything of that nature, which can be a huge time saver if you shoot in both orientations like I do for my long form and short form content. In addition to that feature, they've also added Apple Find My support for iPhone users, which will certainly make it easier to find your GO 3S if you happen to misplace it. Now, I know most people that buy these cameras are going to have their own editing software that they use to put their stuff together, but the Insta360 app deserves some credit for just how many creative features it has inside of it. I also like the fact that you don't have to use the USB Type-C cable to transfer your data if you don't want to. Inside of the app, you do have the ability to download your files directly to your phone, and from there, if you're using a Mac and an iPhone like myself, you can airdrop your footage directly to your computer, which is extremely convenient. It's actually really well designed and gives you tons of editing options, such as allowing you to reframe your shots, adjust colors, apply effects, and export different aspect ratios. But it's also worth mentioning that they do have desktop software as well, which is solid if you don't like to edit directly from your smartphone or tablet. So let's be real guys, no camera out there is perfect, so there are some potential downsides about the GO 3S, and one of them is going to be the low light performance. It definitely can introduce quite a bit of noise if you're not in optimal lighting conditions, and it also does not have an external microphone input, which may be a deal breaker for some creators. Now moving on and speaking on the overall value proposition, the GO 3S starts at $399 retail, and that's going to be for the 64GB version, but there is a 128GB version as well that retails for slightly more at $429. I did get the 128GB version, and given everything that you're getting here, the camera, the action pod, and all the accessories, I do think that this system is reasonably priced, being that the only thing that I chose to buy after getting the bundle was a selfie stick that turns into a tripod so that I can make this camera as versatile as possible. So taking everything into consideration, fam, I've had the GO 3S for a few weeks now, and there are a lot of things that I love about this system. In my opinion, it's not trying to be a GoPro replacement. It's actually creating its own category. The size, versatility, and clever features make it something extremely unique in the action camera space. For creators, travelers, or anyone who wants to capture life's moments without carrying a bunch of gear, this is definitely worth considering, and it has definitely earned a spot in my everyday carry bag, at least until the next iteration does come out. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you own a GO 3S? And if so, what has been your experience with it so far? And if you're looking to pick one up, let me know what features about it stand out the most for you. But other than that, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and hit that like button for me, as it really helps the channel out. Until next time, it's your boy Tech Mo signing out. I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.